We're celebrating and we're live. I'm Adam. This is Highly Articulated, the 50th episode of Highly Articulated, which I'll be totally honest is kind of bonkers. I can't believe that anybody was interested in the first episode, let alone getting to 50. Now, that being said, it's the 50th episode of Highly Articulated, but we're also doing monkey business. Next week, it's going to be monkey business. So stay tuned for that next week. I'm doing the pre-recorded stuff. I'm doing open late. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm having a ton of fun doing it. And when I was getting ready to do today's episode, I thought to myself, okay, I should get a couple guests. It should be a big thing. But what I realized was this isn't really about the guests, right? This is about you guys. I mean, this is me thanking you guys for hanging out with me and chatting with me and stuff like that. So no guests today. We're just going to do sort of the normal thing that we do. And I'm going to change my settings because I forgot to change this. I don't know why. Just that's 50 episodes in, I'm still very, very unprofessional, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. So thank you guys for joining me. It is because of you that I bother doing this. It's because of you guys that I'm at 500 subscribers. There's no doubt about that. So thank you to all of you, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching in the replay, whether you never watch but you're a family member or something like that. Thank you to you as well. I hope you watch. I'm having fun either way. So it's been a trip, man, because I started doing these as Facebook Live videos just to engage some Facebook Live groups. And shout out to Mike at eCollectibles. Good friend, great guy, who encouraged me to go on YouTube, get a little bit wider audience, so on and so forth. He's my go-to. But if I was in the US, Ted Darklaw, Hella Dope Toys, they'd probably be my go-to if I was in the US. Great guys. They've helped me out with a couple things. They got me a couple PowerCon exclusives that I couldn't get any other way. So shout out to Hella Dope Toys. And my very first super chat is from Ted. Congrats on 500 subs. Thank you, my friend. You guys are doing pretty good over there at Hella Dope as well. If you haven't checked out their show, it will be on at 6 p.m. Well, I assume it's on at 6 p.m. I just assume these shows come on. Their show is Hella Dope. Just search Hella Dope, you'll find it. Good toy chat. If you like this, it's the same thing. It's the same format. Only they managed to get 2 people live all the time. So, and I was a guest on there. Check that episode out if you want. But yeah, let's check out the chat here. Cobweb Collector, congrats again on 500. Now the 50th episode. Gonna try and make it back over to catch some of this. Hopefully you can, Cobweb. If not, thank you for the comments. Ray Paz is here. Sam Rock. Everybody's saying hello. Everybody's Ted's listening while driving. All right, awesome, Ted. Kelly Chase, happy 50th. Here's to 100 more. Just at work, so I'll catch the replay. Appreciate you stopping by. Brick is hanging out as well. Jeff Morris. Hello to everybody and welcome. And yeah, this is the 50th episode. Like I said, I've done lots more videos. It just seemed like this was a bit of a milestone. The fact that I managed to hit 500 subs sort of right around the same time. I was pushing to have 500 for 50. Which I'm very, very excited about. I'm pretty pumped on it, to be perfectly honest. It's one of those things where I've said this before, and this is the honest truth. When I started the YouTube channel, I thought, if I get 100 subs, that's pretty significant. It's pretty substantial, and I'd be pretty impressed with that. I hit that, and it just kind of kept going, and I kind of kept going. So here we are. And another super chat from Brick. Thank you, Brick. I appreciate it, man. You know you don't have to do that. 200 Canadian. Yeah, it's $2. Yeah, that's pretty much the way that it works out. Thanos Copter is here as well. Thank you to everybody for hanging out. Now, as far as the channel goes, I'm going to adjust some things. I'm kind of, now that I've got, the 500 subs, now that I got, 50 episodes under the belt, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. Not too much. Don't worry. I'm not, I'm not going to change this to a sports talk channel or anything like that. I like sports, but I don't really like to talk about sports. It's still going to be toys. It's still going to be basically the same. I just mean in terms of the format. I'm going to try to tighten up the format for this show. I'm going to try to make, open late, its own distinct thing. I'm going to try to do the pre-recorded unboxings as a bit more distinct. Graphically, they might look a little bit different too. So that's all I mean. I just want to put out content that you guys enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it and I'm just sort of doing it for myself, then there's not really any point in doing it, is there? It's the interaction, the community, the conversations, and the friends is sort of like, the best part of this, right? Like, we live in a time where I would probably have never connected with any of you guys in the chat. Most of the people that subscribe. So we live in this golden age of the toy renaissance, where we can come together and connect and chat and just have some fun. So hopefully that's what we're doing. So Cobweb says no sports, I'm out. Well, I didn't watch any sports today. I was the Vancouver Whitecaps, the local-ish soccer team, is in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to that. Seahawks game is recording, so I will watch that after the stream. I think that's all the sports that's on for me in the last day or two. Okay, so there's your sports update. There's your sports update for the day. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a sports update for every Sunday video. I'll have one sports update just to keep Cobweb, interested. Thanos Copter says, when the Mega Man toys come out, I'm going to do a Mega Man soccer shot. That would be cool. The Mega Man figures are one of those things where, like, it firmly is in that category of figures that look really, really cool that I won't buy because I just don't have anywhere to put them. Because I can't collect everything. But those Mega Man figures look awesome. I've never been a huge video game guy either, so all the versions of Mega Man, I don't know. I just know the blue version. And then I see the other versions and I'm like, oh, that one exists. That's cool. Now, as far as Jada goes, I'm definitely getting Chester Cheetah. The Jada Street Fighter figures, I haven't gotten any yet. But I hear such good things about them that I'm not saying never. Again, you kind of have to get all of them, right? If you get into Street Fighter figures, I would have to get all of them. Not all of them. I wouldn't need like Evil Ryu. Player one version of everything would be fine. If they had come out of the gate with Blanca, I may have been in. But because we're a couple waves in and we haven't got Blanca yet, I'm still holding out. So that's that. Now, as far as the channel goes, as far as 50 episodes, I think is a big enough milestone. 500 subscribers is definitely a big enough milestone. I'm going to do some giveaways. Now, I am going to do some giveaways next week on Monkey Business, as well as some giveaways the following week on November the 4th for some other stuff. Now, as far as details on that, you will have to stay tuned to the end of the channel where I'll give you the details on how to enter into the giveaway. That's just my way of forcing you to hang out with me until the end of the video. Just kidding. That's just how I wrote it down on my page. So, all right. First things first. I sort of toyed with this a while ago, but I'm definitely going to get back to it because I like it. I think it's a good sort of starting point for the show. So going forward, this is effectively going to be like where I start the show. I'm going to start the show with, wait for it. Where's that page? There it is. I'm going to start the show with pre-orders that are coming up. So I'm going to take a look at eCollectibles.ca and check out new pre-orders. The NECA Nun from the Conjuring universe looks terrifying. I'm not a big NECA guy, so that's not necessarily something that I'm going to pick up, nor would I necessarily want something that terrifying on my shelf, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't like horror movies. I don't like being scared. It's not easy to scare me, but I just don't like creepy stuff, let alone having creepy stuff in my toy room. It's just not my thing. The Batman cowls look phenomenal. I think those just got posted today, and it's pretty wild. The big one for me is the GI Joe, the Super 7 GI Joe Reaction Cobra Mothership. Now, if you're in Canada and you're even thought about buying the mothership, eCollectibles is going to be the place for it, because on Super 7, I think it's like $500 US plus like $100 to ship it, so it's like $600. $699.99 Canadian, including shipping, is cheaper than if you buy it from Super 7. That's bonkers. That's why eCollectibles was my go-to. Always trying to get cool stuff, always trying to get it at a good price. This Dragon Ball Z Bardock from SH Figure Arts is tempting me, very much tempting me. The Thunderbolt, the Deluxe Thunderbolt, that is, again, a line I'm trying not to get into, but the Mezco 112 Duke looks pretty dope as well. Mezco, there's just something about the proportions that I'm not sold on, but that's just personal. That's a personal thing. Biker Mice from Mars, those motorcycles. I mean, if you're getting the figures, you got to get the motorcycles, right? Scrolling down a little bit more, Crystar. I mean, come on, translucent figures. Y'all know me. I'm in for that one for sure. This is probably the one that intrigues me the most. This is the one that I'm kind of most curious about. The SH Figure Arts Beelzebub from Sandland. Sandland is a new IP from from Akira Toriyama behind Dragon Ball, and I think it was like a weekly strip kind of manga, but it has a video game. But they're doing a full length movie, and it looks dope, and the character design is so fun. I love this figure. It's man, I'm probably gonna end up buying this figure, I'll be perfectly honest. I just kind of want to see the movie or the manga or something first, but that's just me personally. I like to be a little bit more connected to the IP before I sort of jump in. But anyway, that's just a quick update on what is available from eCollectibles at the moment for pre-order. I think there might be more soon. We're going to talk about 1027, the Hasbro 1027 event at the end of the show as well, and then we'll come back to pre-orders and stuff like that. So, let me see what's going on in the chat. Brick says no sports. It's bad enough I got to wade through all the wrestling talk on YouTube. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I think one little nugget is probably not going to be too much for most people. Brick says I'm exercising self-control and only getting Fei Long and Chun-Li, mainly because the toy line is small compared to my stuff, but they're fantastic. That's what I keep hearing, is that all the figures are fantastic. I've been able to stay away because Fei Long is not really a character that, like, I played like probably the first two Street Fighters. I don't even remember Fei Long. I don't remember Evil Ryu. So for me, it's like Ryu, Ken, Chun Li, Guile, Blanca, Dalsim, E Honda. So if they start filling out some of those like bigger characters, I might be in. I've nearly pulled the trigger on pre-ordering a couple of them a couple times, but we will see. Thanos Copter says that mothership looks cool, just not something for me. Hope it makes it. I hope it makes it too. It's not something for me either. I don't collect the 1/18th scale, but I think it's being overlooked by the 1/18th scale guys, like the vintage GI Joe guys. I genuinely think that would be an amazing vehicle to have. It's big, granted, and it's not cheap, but I think it's going to be one of those ones that people are really going to get FOMO about when it ships and they don't have one coming. So I think it's definitely like buy it now because it's going to get more expensive, later. So Carol Geis is here. What's going on, Carol? Brick, did you just pass right by that Noda Journey to the West figure? It's amazing how it can be so different yet so the same. I didn't pass right by it. I mean, I mentioned it. It's there. I'll be honest, the Journey to the West stuff, I don't have a huge connection to. And that is kind of the only way that I'm not buying, the lion and the bird and the all that Noda stuff looks phenomenal. I just don't know where I would put it. And that's also admittedly with the insight and the foresight of some of things that are coming sooner rather than later. So it's just a matter of space and budget and sort of priorities. But they look absolutely stunning. How much is Noda Lion Guy going to be? I hope it's less bird demon guy. I don't know. I mean, I assume it'll be less because it's just a single figure, and I think that bird one deluxe is like basically two figures. I don't know. I don't really pay too close attention to that stuff. Like I said, if I don't get too close, I don't feel compelled to buy it. All their stuff is premium. It's import pricing, but if you find it at the right place, you'll get a pretty decent. I think the value's there, so you get what you're paying for. So, Jeff Moore says the mothership is cool but crazy expensive. I would rather have $500 in my bank account for other stuff, but hope others can get it if they like it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. As I've said before, not every one of these projects is going to be for everybody, right? Not everybody wants a Hiss tank. Not everybody wants a Dragonfly. Not everybody wants a Cat Slayer. Not everybody wants a Sewer Layer. Not everybody wants, a Four Horseman Dragon or whatever it is, right? There isn't a dragon yet. That's not an insight that I have or something like that. It's just when it comes out, I don't think I'm going to buy a Four Horseman Mythic Legion's Dragon because I just don't think I'm going to have room for it. To be perfectly honest, the trolls are big enough as far as I'm concerned. So, all right. On other sort of crowdfunding stuff, because I'm very curious where this one is going to end up. I thought this was pretty much a lock, but the HasLab Giant Man seems to have hit a bit of a stumbling block. I thought it would be much closer to the 10,000 goal by now. With a little over a day left, we're looking at the funding ending tomorrow at midnight. So today and then tomorrow. The weird thing is I haven't seen the same push with Giant Man that I have with some of the other HasLab stuff, and now I don't know if that's because I'm not as in tune, with Marvel Legends stuff. and even more specifically, like the classic Avengers stuff. I thought that people were into this. I thought that it was, one of those projects that was like kind of a no brainer. Um, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, I refreshed. So Kayla said that it was higher. I refreshed at 7,413. They need 10,000. So it is still trending in the right direction. Now, if we go to this, so this is Brian Brink's chart from Geek Dad Life. You can see the red line there. It's been it's been making progress the whole time, but the sort of projection for where I think everybody thought it might go and where it kind of needed to be is the gray dotted line there, but the actual is the red line being charted there. It's going to have a massive end of the day today and a pretty big day tomorrow just to fund. I'm not saying that it won't, because, if you look at the final day for a lot of these previous HasLabs, the Sentinel, Galactus, and the Dragonfly all had, final days that would more or less make up the difference, right? So, at 7,400, 2,600 needed. If they can get another few hundred today, which I think is still feasible and very, very possible, and let's say they need, 2,200 for tomorrow, I think it's still feasible. I think it's still possible, but it's going to be awfully close. This one is not one that I'm backing. As I said, I'm just not a Marvel Legends Avengers collector, but I thought this was a lock. Like I looked at the first day and I looked at the first week and I was like, yeah, it should be fine. But I'm genuinely like not convinced anymore that this is going to hit 10,000. But we shall see. Thanos Copter says, I thought everybody wanted a 4 Horseman dragon. Lots of people do. I genuinely don't know where I would put it. I genuinely just wouldn't have room for it. Silver K is here, says congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brick, this Giant Man's campaign breaks my heart. I'm just too old, I guess, because this seemed like a no-brainer to fund campaign to me, but I'm hearing people say he's a D-list character. Yeah, that's where it's tough, is because it's like that the Engine of Vengeance was a Ghost Rider that was too new. That was the complaint. Did the pendulum swing too far in the other direction? Maybe, right? Is this character like too old timey? Is it too classic a character? I think they set it up right very well with the classic Avenger stuff that they've done. They've done the classic Hulk, classic Iron Man, classic Thor, classic Hawkeye, classic Vision. They've been sort of setting up the classic Avengers in a way that Giant Man made perfect sense. So I don't entirely know why it's not done better. But like I said, is it a bad timing thing? Is it a visibility thing? Have they just not pushed this in the same way? I think the big question might be, they kind of said these are going to be, all the stretch goals, and they kind of set it all up out front. Did that hurt it? Was our unlocks, mystery unlocks, are they necessary, right? Do you need at least one, maybe two, to sort of get this thing talked about? I feel like we've talked about it every week. Despite the fact that I'm not backing it, I'm very interested in it. I think it's something that the classic Avengers fans probably really need and really want, because if you let's be honest, if you've jumped in and sort of pre-ordered all those other classic Avengers, I would assume that this is one that you want. But maybe this just reflects A couple things. Maybe that's sort of a downturn in the collector market, which I think is a real thing. We've talked about that before too. And I wonder if it's there's an aspect of there just isn't enough of a market for something that's this classic, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it would be a really great figure and a lot of fun to play with. I mean, especially if they do, and I think they've said that they will release like a 6-inch size, like a 6-inch Ant-Man as well, to kind of match this guy. So to me, it's like, but who knows? I mean, it may, the final day they may do 5,000. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned to other YouTube channels because I will not be doing a live video tomorrow night. There will be plenty of others. Toy Habits is probably doing one, or Mega J Retro, or combined they will do one, or Geek Dad Life will do one, or choose your favorite toy tuber. They're probably going to be doing one, but I won't be. Brick says, it truly is an amazing achievement in action figure design and engineering, and at a decent price. I agree. I think the price is phenomenal. It's weird that at that price it hasn't already hit the 10,000, but that's it is what it is. Rick Jones, Marvel Legends fans are fickle. What do you want? Yeah, I mean, I think that might be part of it as well. I think it's I think Marvel is at least with the action figure stuff is starting to have there's a leaching of some of the negativity that Star Wars has sort of had recently. I'm just hoping that it doesn't get to G.I. Joe, because then it starts infringing on stuff that I'm genuinely interested in and like buying up like crazy. So yes, absolutely. Those are Brian Brink's charts. I just pulled them from the Geek Dad Life website. Dorklair, thank you. Congrats on 50 episodes. I appreciate it, my friend. Dorklair, I hope you're going to be at Legion's Con. Looking forward to meeting you there if you are. So, Thanos Copter. I actually want a ton of D-list characters. I think that's the funny thing, right? Is that there's so many characters in the Marvel universe that it's. I mean, let's be honest. Iron Man was basically a D-list character until they did the movies. There was Iron Man fans, but I don't think that Tony Stark and Iron Man were nearly as popular before the Iron Man movie as they are now. I never, growing up, I certainly didn't know anybody that was an Iron Man fan. But they're probably out there. I mean, there was enough of them that book has been around forever. So, Dorklair, I do think it's timing. I personally think it's a combination of the time of year and the frequency of crowdfunded projects lately across numerous lines. Yeah, I agreed. We kind of talked about that a little bit last week when we were talking about crowdfunded projects and how, my opinion is that, like, it doesn't matter how many of these projects come out, our budgets and our display rooms won't allow it. It doesn't matter if I want all of them. I can't feasibly have all of them. So it's kind of like, I think there's more competition, right? Like it's different when it's, we're going to put this figure out and it's pre-orders and it's, 20 to $30 or whatever, versus, a $200 to $500 project. You're really only gonna most people. Okay, I'll admit there's people that can back multiples of all of these, right? They're financially and spatially available to back these at greater quantities. For most of us mere mortals, one crowdfunded thing at a time, maybe two, depending on when they're gonna charge me kind of thing. But like, I can't be doing one every week or even one every month. A couple a year is feasible, and depending on what it is, I can stretch it to maybe three. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what crowdfunding stuff I have sort of lined up right now. It's probably more than I remember. That's part of the problem, is that we forget how much stuff we've got sort of invested in pre-orders and crowdfunded projects and so on and so forth. So, but I think people are kind of wisening up. I think people are just sort of tightening their belts a little bit. I was out doing some of my Christmas shopping today, so that's something I got to factor in the next couple months as well. Legion's Con is coming up for me, so again, for the last couple months, I've been kind of throttling back a little bit on my pre-ordering and my purchasing. So yeah, I think it's sort of all of the above. And Jeff Morris is saying, I think it's collecting fatigue. At least for me, it is. I've slowed down on buying almost everything. I you know the fatigue thing, I totally get. I think there was also a couple years where people had kind of more disposable income, and so their budgets are kind of recalibrating and resetting a little bit. I think for me, my budget hasn't really changed, but now there's so much more stuff. Like, doesn't it feel to you guys like there's just way more stuff all the time to pre-order and to like crowdfund and stuff like that? So for me, I've just gotten a little bit more particular about the lines that I'm supporting. I prefer to give more of my money to people that I like. And so there's some companies that don't necessarily get my money for that very reason. Even if they got cool product, that factors into me. If I'm supporting people, I want to support people that I like more than people that I might not. So that factors in. Like I said, my budget hasn't really changed. Um, I'm a pretty conservative buyer, believe it or not. So my budget hasn't really changed, but where my money goes, I've been more particular about. So Radical Toys is here. What's going on, Radical Toys? It's Silver K. Yeah, choose your white dude with a beard on the internet. There's probably going to be a plethora of white dudes. There's going to be other dudes too. Mega J's probably going to do a video. He is bearded, but he's not what. Let's see. Try to catch up on the comments here, and then we'll keep rolling. Red 5, and I'm just going to call you that from now on. So congratulations. God Webb, of course, says I really loved Iron Man as a kid. Well, there you go. There's always one. There's always somebody. Kayla's got to go. Well, I will probably see you in a chat on some other white bearded man's channel later. Allison Troy is here, says, greetings, my 50th episode celebrates. Sorry I'm late. Fair to you. You had a stream. You did a live stream with Oz just before this, so I will. You got to decompress a little bit after, right? I get it. Wonder if maybe some of the companies could switch to a made to order versus crowdfund. You know what? Isn't a pre-order a made to order? With the timelines that we're working with, isn't that more or less a made to order? A crowdfund to me is more of like, okay, we're not going to do this unless it backs. A made to order is a pre-order, right? And knowing what I know about certain lines and some things, I know that a lot of people wait. I know that a lot of people have gotten into the habit of waiting, and it's like it has to be in stock before they're going to order. So there's a balancing act. Now, I know that people will say, like, okay, for Hasbro or Mattel, they should be able to sort of invest in these projects. The reality is, though, 10,000 units of Giant Man at $200 a pop, it's an expensive project, right? It's not something that they just want to throw money at. And we've talked about this before, that just because Hasbro is a multi-billion-dollar company doesn't mean that they make multi-billions of dollars off of action figures. They make a few million, probably more than a few million, but the point being, it's like it's not the only thing that they're doing. So like big swings is not something that a corporation wants to do. The little guys are on the other end of the spectrum, where like big swings they can't do most of the time, right? So it's a balancing act, and you got to kind of, like I said, as a consumer, we pick and choose, and we have to sort of figure out which ones work for us. For me, it's like I'm in sort of day one on most things that I'm gonna put my money towards. I'm usually not the last backer. You know what I mean? I'm not final day backer. I'm day one backer for crowd funds. For HasLabs that I backed, I've been day one. For pre-orders, I'm day one. And then I just sit back and wait for it to show up. I typically don't get FOMO because I just kind of commit to what I'm buying and go from there. But Rick Jones, the HasLab was expensive and just ended. Yes, yep. Different scale, different IP. So I think there is a lot of crossover between GI Joe fans, Star Wars fans, Marvel Legends fans. Like I just think those IPs kind of cross over for a lot of us as far as IPs that we love and products that we're buying. And I think that Ant-Man is different enough from the Ghost in terms of the buyers and in terms of what it is, that it shouldn't really affect one way or the other, but it's definitely an element, I think. And Thanos says, yeah, definitely way more stuff, or at least I'm exposed to more things than I was last year. Yeah, that might be it too. The deeper we get into collecting, the more we chat with new people, different people, we might hear about a line that we knew nothing about. Dragonor is one. Cyberzoic is another one where like it wasn't really on my radar. I knew about it, but now I'm like, man, do I need dinos? Do I need armored dinos? Yeah, Brick, and this is what I'm saying. It definitely feels like way more stuff, but consumers, collectors just need to realize that doesn't mean that they can get way more stuff. Your budget, your space only goes so far. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Just don't get to a place where like you can't, buy groceries or pay your rent because you had to have the latest thing. Um, Doric Lair, I totally agree with you about supporting people I love and respect. That's been a big factor in my decisions this year with how overwhelming the drops have become. Yep. I was all in on the GI Joe stuff until they just started giving us too much stuff. GI Joe still gets a lot of my money. I'll be honest, but I don't buy everything. I'm not a completist. That's the other thing for me. I like to have a full shelf of things, but I don't have to have all the things. I can't have all the things. And Brick says, honestly, having a YouTube channel and talking toys weekly is how I consume many of the toys and custom pieces that I can't otherwise own. Window shopping in the 21st century. That's definitely an element too. I can talk about Cyberzoic and never have to necessarily buy it. But yeah. Jeff Moore says pre-order can sell out, so not quite the same as made to. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I get there's a bit of a distinction there. I don't understand how and why pre-orders sell out, if I'm being honest. To me, that's not a pre-order so much as it is a limited time to release. And I think that some of that it turns people off, right? There's definitely product that people have missed out on because it was a pre-order that sold out. I think so I get what you mean. Yeah, made to order. Now Super 7 kind of does that. but it's kind of a crowdfund without them saying it either. Um, they've canceled figures that just didn't get enough numbers. So I guess that's the trade-off. Um, it's. I mean, everybody's trying to do it in a way that is successful. So everybody's doing it a little bit different. Thanos Copter, the crowdfunds could also slow their pace and only come out when they have a really good idea or meet a demand rather than, hey, this one's over, let's launch the next. Yeah, and I don't know, when was the last Marvel Legends crowdfund? I mean, the last one was the Engine of Vengeance, was it not? And that one was not successful. So it's not like Marvel Legends collectors are on the hook for that one. The last successful one was Galactus. And that was, when did Galactus ship? January. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Ray, are we talking about Cyberzoic? I'm 5 minutes behind. No, we're kind of. I'll come back around to Cyberzoic. Why don't we come back around to Cyberzoic right now? Let's move past the Giant Man HasLab and move past the big corporation crowdfunding, and why don't we take a look at Cyberzoic, which is doing quite well. Let's be honest, it's doing very well. Cyberzoic is currently at 325, let's say 325,000 of their goal of 205,000. Just unlocked recently. I'll scroll down. We've talked about Cyberzoic before. If you want cool armored dinos, check out Cyberzoic on Kickstarter right now. The Aquilobator Giganticus is one that I'm pretty interested in because it just looks badass. That Razorhound armor unit looks really, really cool as well. I'm not all in on this because it's 1/18 scale, so it's not a scale that I necessarily collect. So I'm kind of torn because of that. The Deinonychus is looking really, really good. I'm also loving the desert, the Desert Clan look. For me, the Badland Sentry, the trooper that comes with this guy, is probably my favorite that we've seen of the figures themselves. So that's the one that I'm kind of leaning towards the most. But now they're doing, you could do like troop builders as well, which is pretty cool. So if you want to go like more into the figures, price wise, they're pretty well priced. 69 for 3 figures, huh? Is a pretty decent price. They come with a bunch of accessories. They're interchangeable, so there's sort of kit bashing opportunities there. And they even list their international shipping costs, which to me is pretty massive. I don't like to back Kickstarters if I don't know how much it's going to cost to get to my house. So this guy unlocked the Dryptosaurus, not a dinosaur I'm familiar with, but it looks pretty dope. The armor that comes on this guy is looking pretty good. The Fire Clan stuff is cool. It's not my favorite. I'm still, like I said, leaning towards the desert stuff more. The Fire Clan stuff is cool because it converts. Most of the Fire Clan stuff converts to like its own creature. They haven't shown a picture of what this one converts to, but this one, the Dilophosaurus. I'm gonna pronounce the dinosaurs wrong. I don't know what most of them are called. Like I said, I'm not a big dinosaur guy. But the Dilophosaurus, I'll get it the second or third time. Like a feathered Dilophosaurus. That's a cool dino. That's another cool dino. Again, Fire Clan. I want another Desert Clan one. But here's a great example. The armor converts to like a bird type robot, which looks pretty dope. And it looks really, really good on the dino as well. So lots of cool stuff going on with Cyberzoic. I'm gonna reach out to David Silva and try to get him on the show. I just don't know when, and I think it's probably just gonna fall after the Kickstarter. There's only 11 days to go on the Kickstarter. So by the time I probably get around to doing an interview with David Silva behind Cyberzoic, it'll probably be after the crowdfunding is done. So if you're into Cyberzoic, get over there and back that project, because I think it's, you know, it's unlocked. It's funded. We're gonna get armored dinos. And this is definitely going to be the cheapest that you're ever going to get them. I think in the US, the shipping is like peanuts. And it's still very, very reasonable to Canada. I can't speak to any other country because I haven't looked at those addresses, but they're looking good. They're looking real good. Let's see. Brick saying, I'm still torn on the Smilodon. I was trying to save money and convince myself that it's too small. It's still in my backing order, though. Can't wait for my Dragon and Raptor. Yes. And the Dragon isn't something that interests me. The Smilodon isn't even something that interests me. There's a few dinos that I'm interested in. And, you know, of the concept art, there's a few more that they've shown. I love Ankylosaurus. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it. So when they do that one, I might be interested. The Stegosaurus, a Triceratops, I would be interested in. The four-legged ones to me make a little bit more sense because they're more stable. As far as two-legged ones, I would probably get a couple. You know, I like the ones where the wings, can sort of rest on the ground, and you know, you might not need a stand if you pose it just right. So that's sort of where I'm thinking I might go with them. I'm really looking forward to seeing these at Legions Con. Maybe I'll try to just chat with David Silver at Legions Con and get that video posted. Maybe that's the way to do it. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to have the technology to be able to do that. We will see. But yeah, Legions Con is coming up. We got a couple more shows between now and then. I'm very curious if there's anything that you guys want me to do as far as coverage. The truth is, I'm not necessarily like taking all my gear, so I won't be set up. I probably won't be doing a live on the Sunday, because I just won't be set up for it. But plus, now that I think of it, I think the show will have like just ended. The Legions Con will have just ended. So, who knows? We'll see. Stay tuned. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to know whether or not I'm doing a live video on the Sunday of Legions Con. Ray Pass says, I think Toy Duo will have him on this week. He's been popping up more. I was going to reach out to him because I was thinking that I wasn't seeing any interviews with him, but I've seen a few now. Cato's Collection Reviews did an interview. He did an interview with Dorklair. So they're popping up. They're available. So Ray, maybe you can jump on there and ask for an interview. I would just reach out. My MO is, if I want to interview somebody, I just reach out to them. And if they don't get back to me, I just assume that they don't want to talk to me. And if they do get back to me, great. You know, I'll definitely chat with them. So that's how it's worked for me. Everybody that I've had on the show have been people that I just reached out to directly. It's a weird thing, but honestly, I don't even like to have people ask people. Like, I don't like there to be intermediaries. I would rather just reach out and say, hey, I have this channel. Would you be interested in chatting? So that's how I operate. Brick says, send me and Thanos some footage from Legions Con and we'll do our sad California boy at home coverage of the con with you as an on-the-spot reporter. That could work, because I could basically record clips and sort of send them to you piecemeal, if I have time. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe the Sunday edition of news on the Brick Something channel can be Legions Con coverage, if I can get my act together fast enough and sort of chat with some people and get some time away from Jason the slave driver at the AWOC table. Thanos says that would be fun and make it less sad. Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, so that's Cyberzoic going back. I think it looks really, really cool. I'm probably going to end up with one or two pieces of Cyberzoic, which goes completely against like all my sort of collecting procedures and policies. But they're just so cool. I mean, it's the wrong scale. It's a line that I'm not going to go all in on. It just, it just looks so good, and it's so fun. Initially, too, like I said, my reaction to Cyberzoic was Dino Riders, which I think is just such a cool line. But the more I think about it, it's more Dinotopia than it is Dino Riders. Just in terms of the world building that they're doing, I've been sort of reading a little bit more about it. In terms of the world building, in terms of what they want to do with it, so on and so forth. So, um, I think Cyberzoic is a pretty cool line, and it's looking more and more like something that I'm gonna get into. Sadly, for me, um, dollar wise and space wise. Um, yeah, Rape has the poster art is incredible. It's an awesome looking poster. Larry Reed is here. What's going on, Larry? He is in Orlando at TFCon Orlando right now. Happy to have you, Larry. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel. You've been around for you've been around since the start. Feels like, Larry, and I appreciate your support. Um, Cyberzoic is Dino Riders and Dinotopia only in the way that AWOC is Thundercats and Planet of the Apes. It's dope stuff. Yeah, that's accurate. Like it's no, you know what? I think Cyberzoic is more Dinotopia than AWOC is Planet of the Apes. If that makes sense in your analogy. Because I went back and I actually I have Dinotopia. I reread it. Um, and I think that idea of like a culture around different dinos and stuff where it's gone beyond that. I think it's better. I'll be honest. I think Cyberzoic's world that they're building is better than Dinotopia's world, but that's just my 2 cents. Oz is here. What is going on, Oz? Mildly similar is what I'm getting from Brick's comment. Yeah, there's elements there. Brick and I have talked about this too, like at great length. There's no new IPs. It's all revisions and new versions and interpretations and sort of evolutions of the IPs that we knew and loved when we were younger. It's just the way that creation works, right? You don't it I'm sure at some point there is some like divine inspiration where like a new idea comes up, but when it comes to this stuff, I don't think that that's really what anybody's going for. So, um, yeah, and and it is its own thing, 100%. It is its own thing, and it goes beyond, like I said, what those other things are doing, right? Like I said, I think Cyberzoic is cooler and more interesting than Dinotopia. Dinotopia, as a kid, I was like, the idea of that. As a kid, I had Dino Riders, I had Dinotopia, I had Jurassic Park. I feel like you kind of put all those things together in a creative person's brain, and all of a sudden you get Cyberzoic, and it's like it's better than all of them, in my opinion. It's a better. I just wish it was 1/12 scale. Now, I know that would be virtually impossible because we talk about space and size, they would be massive. Those dinosaurs would be massive and it just wouldn't be feasible. So I'm okay with it being 1/18 scale. Um, it just means that I have to figure out where to put it. And this is just me rationalizing all of this on my own to convince myself one way or the other. So this is like toy therapy. Shout out to Aaron's, toy therapy. This is me sort of rationalizing and sort of getting through the sort of steps that I need to get to decide one way or the other for myself. So, Ted says, just want to say I'm still listening, still driving, currently parked. Very excited to hear about the evolution of your channel. To everyone in the chat I missed. He says, cheers. Cheers to you too, Ted. Be tuning into your show very soon. A couple hours, 3 hours away from the Hella Dope show. Tune into them if you haven't before. Great show. Good chat. Just real dudes that sell toys. Talking about toys. And wrestling. You can tune out for that if you want. Red 5 says, any AWOC news coming out of Legion's Con? Yes. There will be a figure revealed at Legion's Con that will go up for pre-order, I think, immediately. And I think there will probably be some news about the next couple waves as well. But stay tuned on that because I'm not 100% certain when that news is going to get announced. There's some big news coming. There's some figures that people have been waiting for. There's some pre-orders for some waves that people have been waiting for that we will hear about very soon. I just don't know if it's going to be Legion's Con soon or not. But there will be one figure that will go up for pre-order effective at Legion's Con. Shout out to Oz, became a member. I didn't even mention that. I set up the membership. It sucks, but I put it on there anyway. When I have more time, I'm going to put more sort of effort into that. I just have like the most basic membership now, and I will improve it. I want to do, a couple different tiers. I'm thinking probably like early access. But I don't know. Like, I genuinely I don't want to like offer something that isn't cool, if that makes sense. And it was like, it's there, so I turned it on, but I don't want anybody to ever feel obligated. I didn't even mention it, but because Oz and Allison Troy became channel members, and it highlights it on my screen, and Ray Paz mentioned it in the comments, so why not mention it? But I'm happy to be hanging out with you guys and happy to be chatting with everybody, and it's just fun to talk toys. So it's cool that you guys are here. It's fun to hang out. Like I said, I got the 50th episode, but it hitting 50 episodes, hitting 500 subscribers really just makes me want to do more cool stuff. It makes me want to just like get more cool guests, talk about more lines. It's the inspiration for me to want to like change up the format is so that things look different and stuff like that. What I realized is I do all the live stuff on StreamYard, but it maxes out at like 720p. So the pre-recorded stuff I can do at 1080, which just makes it look a little bit nicer. I'm kind of looking at new equipment so that the sound and the video is a little bit better and stuff like that. So that's that's what I got in the works. Now, in terms of other things that I've got in the works, as I said, I do have some stuff to give away. This won't be the last thing that we'll talk about. I tricked everybody that is watching on a replay. They're going to skip to the end, trying to find this information, but you guys are going to get it firsthand, and they're going to have to find it. But feel free to, leave after you figure out how to enter. Here's some of the stuff I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to give away a retro Snake Eyes. I'm going to give away a Prophet Director Destro. I've got a Vero Atlas from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I have got some test shots. I've narrowed it down to these 3 that I am willing to give away. The winner will get at least 1, but maybe 2. And it'll be their choice. And I forgot to add them into the picture, but I always sort of intended to have Tibius. So I'll put him kind of close, adjacent to that picture. So Tibius, a Mythic Legions figure, is also sort of in the mix for the giveaway. The giveaway will be split across 2 videos. As I said, next week I will be giving away Vero Atlas as well as 1, possibly 2 test shots. The following week, November 4th, will be the 2 G.I. Joes and the Mythic Legions figure. Here is how you are going to be eligible to enter. Comment on this video with your favorite character from your favorite IP. That's it. That's how you're going to get an entry. The other caveat is that you have to be watching the episode where I'm doing the draw. So you have to be watching live to win the prize. I'll give you, a few minutes to reply, but you have to be watching the video to win. Now, if you only want sort of one or the other, let me know in the comment as well, because then I'll just put you on the wheel for like one or the other, but you're welcome to be on both if you want. You just have to be watching to win. That's it. Super simple, right? I think. If you're in Canada, I'll ship it right away. If you're in the US, I may wait till I go to Legions Con because I think I can save a whole bunch on the shipping if I just wait till I'm in the US to ship the item. So there you go. There's the information. I'll post that at a bit of a later date as well. But basically, you have about a week to enter. Obviously, if your name is in by next Sunday, it'll go on the wheel for the AWOC stuff. And then I'll give people, a day or two after that. And I'll probably do the wheel for the following weekend a little bit after that. But yes, Ray Paz. Comment on this video and watch the next one. It's that easy. Now, you will have to comment like on the replay video, if that makes sense. Like it has to be in the like comments below the video kind of thing, not in the live. But if you don't, and I remember that you're in this live, I'll probably enter you anyway. There's not a ton of people commenting. I could probably manage to like pull the names out of these comments too. But it's easier, like I said, if you give me your favorite character or figure from your favorite IP in the comments. It's just way easier if it's in the comments for me to keep track of. Red 5, though, jumping the gun a little bit, says favorite figure is probably my Power Rangers Lightning Collection Tengu Warrior. That's a really cool figure from a line that I definitely don't want to get into because there's way too many cool figures in that line. All right, so I'm going to take this down. If people watching the replay and they see this, maybe they'll realize that that's what we're talking about. So I don't want to leave it up too long. All right. We're talking about too many toys. We're talking about too many pre-orders. Talking about too much stuff going on. I'm going to Legions Con, and it's going to be a blast. I'm going to pick up, the exclusive figures, hopefully. Hoping to pick up a couple of the reinforcements. I didn't order them because obviously I'm in Canada and didn't want to pay the shipping, knowing that I'll be there, in a couple weeks. I could potentially pick them up. I will be working at the AWOC table. So if anybody's going to Legions Con and they want to stop by and say hello and buy some action figures, by all means do that. I'm most excited about hanging out with people at Legions Con, meeting some people face to face that I've interacted with, in YouTube chats or Facebook, Messenger, or in different groups, whatever group that might be, relevant to different IPs and things like that. So really, really looking forward to that. Really, really looking forward to just doing more cool videos and as I said, just absolutely, appreciating anybody and everybody that has, hung out, commented, liked the video, so on and so forth. It's man, this is crazy. Like it's crazy for me, a introverted guy in a relatively small town, to sort of be doing this. Is just, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. But anyway, also coming up this week, we'll end on this, and then if there's anything you guys want to sort of chat about at the end, we can certainly do that. The Hasbro 1027 event is coming up, and okay, full disclosure, there's things that are going to be revealed, and there's pre-orders that are going to go up that I know about now that are pretty awesome, and I am very, very excited about them. I don't necessarily know like where the pre-orders are go up or sort of anything like that, but for me, like the 1027 stuff for me that I'm interested in is obviously going to be the G.I. Joe stuff, obviously. And so we've got some name only reveals, we've got some digital renders, you know, some of the stuff that we could see, right? We could see the that 788 fire team Techno Viper with the MMS. I always get that wrong. SMS? I can't remember. The rocket launcher that would essentially like hook onto a his tank. That to me makes the most sense, since the his tank is apparently like on US soil and sort of imminently about to be shipped out to everybody. So for them to offer that sort of on the back of, you know, an announcement that your his tank is on the way would just be very clever marketing, in my opinion. I think we could see Clutch and the Vamp, because to be perfectly honest, again, if you're going to get your his tank, wouldn't it be cool to have a Joe vehicle to kind of mirror it? Like, I know we got the Dragonfly as the HasLab, but we know that the Vamp is coming. Wouldn't it make sense to release it around the same time as the Hiss? So you've got sort of your ground forces covered. I mean, and then we've got all the name only reveals, right? There's still Dreadnoks that we could see. We could still see Jinx. We could still see Mutton Junkyard, because we haven't had a pre-order for Mutton Junkyard yet. But we saw the physical figure at San Diego Comic-Con. We saw the digital render at PulseCon. So I think that's sort of in there with a chance. And you know, there could be curveballs. There could be some stuff come out of left field. The desert operations, whatever it's called, the desert snake eyes was something that I didn't know anything about, didn't know it was coming, didn't know I needed it until they offered it as a pre-order. But yeah, stay tuned. I mean, that I may do a Saturday night video depending on what they sort of do for 1027. If it's exciting enough stuff, I'm not ruling out doing a video next Saturday night for G.I. Joe stuff. Ray Paz says SMS. Brick says MMS. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Ray Paz, I need a break, to be honest. This is a lot of G.I. Joe stuff. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm right there with you. Like I'm feeling the kind of strain of it. There's definitely been a couple troop builders recently that I've wanted to get more of, that I just can't afford to with the amount of stuff that's out there. I, you know, as much as I would like to get more troop builders, I might only be able to get 2 if they don't pump the brakes on releases. I can only get so many G.I. Joe figures, you know, per month or per quarter or per year. And again, like I said, just because they put out twice as many figures doesn't mean that I'm going to buy twice as many figures. That's just not how it works. So there's always going to be stuff that I pass on. And genuinely, like, I rarely come back to it. I rarely sort of have an item that I don't pre-order day one, where I come back around and I go, you know what, on second thought, I should get that. So we'll see. But I'm like I said, I'm very much looking forward to the 1027 reveals. Like I said, I do know of a couple of the things that are coming. But you know, the things that I think we might see, so it gets very gray and cloudy. But anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? I'll turn it over to you guys. Any questions, any comments, any lines that you know, any pre-orders that have come out that I haven't mentioned that maybe you guys want to talk about, let me know. I will say this about Cyberzoic. I don't know what I'm gonna back, but I have backed it. I just backed it for a few bucks. Even if I don't get anything, it's a project that I think deserves at least a little bit of my money. So Ray Paz, you'll be pleased to know that I did technically back it. I just don't know, what I'm gonna end up getting. I'm hoping that the backer kit is still open after Legion's Con. Like, I'm hoping that I can go to Legion's Con, see that stuff in hand, or in person at the very least. If I can't get it in hand, it's not the end of the world. But if I can see it in person to sort of gauge a little bit better, then I might go sort of through the backer kit and order it that way. That's all I got. That's what I got. I usually shoot for about an hour. We actually managed to make it just about an hour. So we're sort of right on point. Don't forget to enter for the giveaway. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because I appreciate it. Not because you have to. Don't forget. You don't forget. You guys have all subscribed. You guys have all hit all that stuff and done all that stuff. Thanos, I know you get some SH figure arts. Have you checked out the Berserk ones? Yes, and they look dope. But they're not my cup of tea. SH figure arts, I just do the Dragon Ball stuff, and then like that Beelzebub. I'm waiting for them to do a Luffy that's more like the first appearance rather than that one that they've done, which is based on like a specific appearance. By that I just mean I want red with blue shorts, not the yellow shorts. That the new Naruto, the young Naruto, I'm gonna pick up. SH though, like I said, it's primarily Dragon Ball for me. And on that note, stay tuned. I got a Pan unboxing video. I got a Beast Gohan unboxing video. I got an Orange Piccolo unboxing video. That are all going to go up on the channel relatively soon. But yeah, the SH stuff. There's so much cool SH stuff that I don't have. I don't have the money for that stuff. I'll be honest. Most things I can kind of budget for. The SH figure art stuff it's expensive, man. It just adds up way quicker than AWOC stuff or GI Joe stuff or even Mythic Legion stuff. It's so I stick to Dragon Ball stuff. Ray Paz said the backer kit will be on once it's done for those that funded the Kickstarter. Yes, and that's where I'm probably gonna sort of put more money in. I just hope that it, like, the Kickstarter ends in 11 days, and then I hope there's a bit of a window between the end of the Kickstarter and the backer kit so that I can actually see that stuff. I don't have any of the dinos. There's nobody local to me that has any of the dinos, so I can't see them in hand. That's my problem, is like I don't necessarily want to jump into a line that I can't get a bit of a feel for first. If that makes sense. But yeah. Red 5, congrats again on 50 episodes. Can't wait to see what's next. It's not going to be any different. Let's be honest. I think it's going to be different, and I'm sort of saying it's going to be different. It's not going to be different. It's going to be the same stuff. It's just going to be more of the same. It's going to be me talking about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Mythic Legions, GI Joe, SH figure arts, Dragon Ball stuff, with a sprinkling of some other stuff. Right, when there's a Black series that comes out that I get, when there's a Super 7 Ultimates that comes out, when there's I don't know what else. What else do I ever talk about? That's it. That's the stuff that I talk about. I've got a bunch of stuff for open late videos lined up for the next few weeks. Should be fun. I'm going to keep most of my unboxing to the lines that are sort of the main ones that I do. So the GI Joe stuff, the AWOC stuff like that. Open late, I'm thinking that I'm going to lean towards like stuff that I pick up late, stuff that people aren't talking about anymore. It's going to be more just sort of general chat. And then Sundays is going to be news and guests and kind of this format. So nothing's really going to change. I'm just going to get the formats a little bit more solidified, and go from there. Ray says, I think this is his 5th Kickstarter. I think you're right. It's right around there because he did the Raptors, he did the Tyrannosaurus, he's done a few. And this is the first for Cyberzoic though, so this is sort of a new endeavor. But yeah, they look great. The guy knows what he's doing, so I'm not sort of worried in that respect. If you like armored dinos, go get some Cyberzoic stuff. All right, it's been a blast. Again, I have to I have to thank everybody for joining me. I have to thank everybody for this even being possible. You know, the fact that, you know, there were enough people paying attention and enough people that wanted me to, you know, do more shows. Shout out to eCollectibles.ca, my go-to online e-retailer for toys. Shout out to Brick for doing lots of great videos with me, and anybody else that's been a guest or anybody else that, you know, has had me on as a guest. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's going to be in the replay or watching the replay, not in the replay, but watching the replay. You guys make this fun. You guys make this, you know, something that I look forward to every week. And I can't wait to do more of these. I can't wait to see where we go, see what we can do, because it's all fun, and I'm looking forward to more, and I'm looking forward to many more. On that note, don't forget, in the comments on this video, tell me your favorite character or figure from your favorite IP, and let me know which of the sort of prizes you're interested in, and we'll give those away on the next couple of shows. Until then, bye-bye. Could have waited to scratch my nose until after I put that up, but that would have been too much.